Hi, I'm Homoneurotic, and welcome to Queer & Culture, where we examine TV, movies, video games, music, and anything else I feel like talking about from an LGBTQ perspective. Today, we are going to finish off our discussion of the queer women of Roseanne. Let's look at Nancy's relationships with other characters. Unlike with Leon, Nancy was an established recurring character before coming out, so we got to see a bit of her journey in the episodes I've already cited. As we've already seen, Roseanne is surprised but supportive. In one episode called Don't Ask, Don't Tell, we examine Roseanne's attitudes a bit more closely.
I'll see you guys later. I'm going out with Sharon.
Well, why don't you bring her in so she can meet the folks?
Yeah, I've been dating her for like 3 months. We've never even met her.
Look, we're going dancing to that new club in Elgin Friday night. You two should join us. Oh, I don't think that would be a very good idea.
Oh, come on. I think it'd be fun. I haven't been dancing since... When was Dad's funeral?
I don't think you'd have such a great time.
Sounds like fun.
It's a gay bar.
Okie dokie.
Well, Jackie, it doesn't bother us if it's gay.
Well, it might. Friday is convert a hetero night.
What, are you afraid that we're going to embarrass you or something? I know all the etiquette. It's knives and forks on the left and vibrators on the right.
Roseanne shows her support for Nancy in that she wants to meet Nancy's new girlfriend. She also wants to go to a gay bar, in part for the novelty/curiosity of what it's like, but I think also to show support for Nancy. Once they get to the gay bar...
Oh, now you don't have to hide our love cookie. Hi, I'm Roseanne. I'm the father.
So, how long have you two been together?
Oh, what's it been now, honey? About 38 years? Oh, and she's just as feisty as ever.
So, gals, what'll it be?
Well, a beer for me and a ginger ale for the little missus here.
Roseanne? It's nice to see some new faces around here, especially pretty ones like yours.
Oh, well, thank you, Marge. You're not too bad yourself.
What are you doing?
Doing what I do in any bar, scoring free drinks. So, wow, awesome tattoo there, Marge.
Yeah?
You hiding any others?
I wouldn't put it past me.
As before, Roseanne teases Jackie, partly to make Jackie uncomfortable, and I would argue, partly just to point out how ridiculous Jackie's fears are. We also see Roseanne flirt with the bartender, mainly to try to score a free drink, but I would argue that it shows that Roseanne's not uncomfortable the way Jackie is. We see that Roseanne doesn't care if people think she's a lesbian. Then this happens.
You know, Roseanne, we ought to hang out more often.
I was thinking that too, but next time, let's leave the wives at home.
You read my mind.
Huh?
Similar to the kiss we looked at previously between Leon and Scott, this one seems to me like it's largely a trick of angles. We see almost none of Roseanne and Sharon's kiss on screen. Interestingly, this kiss stirred up controversy, including a warning appearing before the episode aired, which seems a bit odd to me since we barely see the kiss. But I guess all the discussion about the kiss that comes after, that's what we really need to protect the children from.
Oh my God, you got kissed by a woman? No wonder you're upset.
Well, no, I'm not upset about that. I'm just upset about Nancy, you know? I mean, this could devastate her. Last night, Sharon kissed me.
I know, she told me.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she just thought you were real cute, and she wanted to kiss you, so she did. Isn't she a riot?
Oh, so you're not, like, upset or anything?
No, I think it's funny. Why, did it bother you?
Well, no. No, it didn't bother me. I mean, I pretty much knew it was funny, you know.
Oh, my God. When Sharon told me she kissed you, I told her there might be a chance that you might freak out.
What do you mean freaked out? I'm not freaking out. Why would I freak out?
Well, you know, maybe you like the kiss just a little.
What? That is the most ridiculous. What?
And you're afraid that just one little tiny percent of you might have been turned on by a woman.
That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. I am not afraid of any small percentage of my gayness inside, you know what I mean? I am totally okay about whether I I'm like 3% or 4% or lower.
This is exactly why I didn't want to invite you in the first place, Roseanne, because you are a total hypocrite.
I am not a hypocrite. A hypocrite doesn't go to a gay bar and teach 40 gay people how to do the monkey.
Oh, and we're supposed to admire you because you went to a gay bar? I'm supposed to think you're cool because you have gay friends?
Fine. If you don't have a problem with what happened, why are you upset?
Well, okay, Jack, if you really have to know. Well, at first, you know, I thought that I was upset for Nancy, and then I kind of realized that was just denial. I'm really upset about Dan.
Because Dan would feel threatened by Sharon.
Yeah. Yeah. I am not gay! I didn't mean for that to sound like it was bad or anything, you know, because if I was gay, that'd be just fine, but I'm not gay. So I just don't like people calling me things that I'm not, like a hypocrite or gay, you know, because I'm not. I wouldn't like anybody calling me like an astronaut, because it's fine to be an astronaut, but see, I am not an astronaut. So I'm not going to admit I was wrong or anything, but I just don't want to fight with you anymore, so I was wrong.
Thank you. I mean, I'm not comfortable with everything about you either. Every time I think about you and Dan in bed, ugh.
Yeah, join the club.
Again, I felt like it was best to show as much of these scenes as possible, which is why it was a pretty long clip. I even had to cut out a few bits that were funny for the sake of time. There's also a scene where Roseanne tells Dan about the kiss. The Cliff Notes is, he is angry until he finds out it was a woman, and then he's turned on. Roseanne is a bit conflicted about how she feels about it. She seems uncomfortable, which I don't really have a problem with because I think that would be an understandable reaction. But I like how they handle it, because it's not like, ew, gross. And there's even some speculation that maybe Roseanne liked it a little. This is also where Nancy explains the gray area of sexuality in a clip I showed earlier. You can identify yourself as straight, but have some random one-off attractions or experiences, and there isn't anything wrong with that. Once again, I would say the show was rather ahead of its time in discussing sexuality as a spectrum, which we don't really see a ton of even today. Furthermore, Roseanne clearly tries to cover up for the fact that she's uncomfortable, and especially that she may have enjoyed the kiss. I like that while Roseanne feels weird that she kissed a girl and she liked it, she feels the need to cover up her discomfort because she doesn't think it should matter if she kissed a woman, and she doesn't want to seem homophobic or close-minded. I think this kind of plays into the idea I mentioned previously of trying to make our main cast relatable for general straight audiences, while still setting a positive example. I would argue that it's okay to feel uncomfortable, as long as you still treat people right and make an effort to accept their differences. I also want to note that the excuses she gives are fairly normalizing. She explains that she's worried that Nancy or Dan will feel betrayed, much like they would have been if it had been a man that kissed her. Roseanne also insists that she isn't gay, sort of channeling a gay panic that a lot of straight people might have, but she is quick to be respectful, apologetic, and considerate of Nancy's feelings, again striving to be relatable while setting a positive example. As we have already seen, Jackie is a little more overtly uncomfortable with female homosexuality.
Roseanne, I really have to go.
Yeah!
Well, I'm not going to feel comfortable there. What if everybody there thinks I'm gay?
Well, then you could just think they're gay right back at them.
You know, I had a feeling about you. You did? Why? What'd I do?
Similar to what I said about Dan's discomfort with male homosexuality, I would argue that Jackie's attitudes serve to make her relatable for the average woman. And again, like Dan, Jackie treats Nancy respectfully in spite of her own discomfort, which also serves to set a positive example for straight women. Unlike with Dan and Leon, though, Jackie and Nancy are actually close friends. On the subject of Dan, Nancy and Dan don't have a lot of interaction or stories together. In one episode, Nancy is worried that Dan doesn't like her, and we find out that he doesn't.
Like right out of the blue, Nancy comes up with this thing where she thinks that you don't like her. You do so.
I'm sorry, Roseanne. She's the most superficial person I've ever met.
But that's just her facade.
She's rude and selfish.
What I appreciate about this is, similar to Roseanne's antagonistic relationship with Leon, Dan dislikes Nancy for reasons that have nothing to do with her sexual orientation, and he still treats her respectfully.
Did you guys bring your presents too?
Oh, that's okay. We already gave each other our gifts earlier.
DJ, hey, how about grabbing the rock salt, going out and salting the driveway?
Okay.
Hey, could you guys cool with giving each other presents in front of the kid?
What? I got her some earrings and she gave me a sweater.
Yeah. That's what I meant. I don't want him to be jealous.
It's cool, Dan. I get it. We know how hard you've been trying to deal with all of this, and I just want you to know we really appreciate it.
Yeah, bye. Oh, hey, listen, Beck. Yeah, well, tell me about that apartment of yours, yeah? No kidding, burned down? Boy, that's a shame.
While I do take issue with the not in front of the kids mentality, from what Nancy says, it's clear that Dan is genuinely making an effort to be accepting and open-minded, so we can give him points for that, I guess. I mean, we probably could go into why she shouldn't have to thank him for being the bare minimum level of decent to her and her girlfriend, but I don't wanna. I've been trying to look at these things from as nuanced a position as possible with a sort of baby steps approach towards equality. Not that we should have to do that.
Is it Nancy? Did she make a pass at you? Because I think she made one at me.
So, let's talk about Bev, Roseanne and Jackie's mother. Played by Estelle Parsons, she is a delightfully shrewish, overbearing, anal fussy, pain-in-the-ass mom. Remember this scene? After ranting about gay men raising a child, we get more into Bev's negative opinion of men in general. An understandable attitude given her abusive and unfaithful ex-husband. And then...
I just don't think two men should raise a child. I married a man. He was cruel to my children and cheated on me. He had horrible table manners, and he made me drive an old car with bald tires. The bastard!
Mother, trying to save a little something for Christmas.
And he's not the only man like that. They're all cut from the same cloth, which is why I don't particularly care for men. Frankly, to sleep with a man is to know how much you hate them. By the end of my marriage, the only way I could have sex with my husband was if I stopped off at the store and bought myself a Playboy first.
Well, I think Grandma's just outed herself.
Oh, God. And I've always known it since she's a little girl. She always liked flannel.
You acted on this? With who? When? How? No, don't tell me.
You know what just really fries me? Our whole lives, you make me and Jackie dress up like little baby dolls, you know. You paint our fingernails. You tell us always to cross our legs and act like little ladies. You're like, don't ever act too smart because you may not get a man. And now here you are sitting there, my right-wing, conservative, Republican mother is a great big old lesbo.
So, we find out in the 9th and final season that Bev is gay. As with Nancy, it seemed like it was going to be because of her bad experiences with men, but it's not really handled that way. It's more presented as a part of her she kept hidden. However, here's the thing about season 9. It never happened. And no, not just because it's a fictional TV show. In the show's final season, the family wins the lottery. Yup. The show about everyday working class folks with real problems was suddenly some kind of Beverly Hillbillies-esque poor people in rich society shenanigans.
It's almost like some insane woman made it all up.
We also got a storyline about Dan cheating on Roseanne, which is unpleasant and out of character and always bugged me. And then in the final episode, we find out that it never happened. They never won the lottery, Dan never had an affair, but instead he died at the end of season 8. Those key things and a bunch of other details and storylines from the entire run of the show were apparently made up by Roseanne the character in a book she was writing. So, in other words, it was all a dream. Well, for all intents and purposes, anyways. See, that was a thing a lot of shows were doing at this time. Trying to be cool, creative, unique, postmodern. But mostly I find it kind of gimmicky and frustrating. And in this case, it was not very well received. Anyways, in addition to all the other surprise changes, we find out...
My mom came from a generation where women were supposed to be submissive about everything. I never bought into that, and I wish Mom hadn't either. I wish she had made different choices. So I think that's why I made her gay. I wanted her to have some sense of herself as a woman. My sister, in real life, unlike my mother, is gay. She always told me she was gay, but for some reason, I always pictured her with a man.
So, Roseanne made her mom gay in her book because she wanted to empower her? What does that mean exactly? Are we equating lesbianism with empowerment? Don't get me wrong, of course you can be both empowered and queer, but I don't think that the two need to be related. I feel like this comes from a place of anti-patriarchy. Like, Bev can be empowered because she doesn't need a man and can be happy without a man. I'm totally behind anti-patriarchy and empowering her, and like everybody, but you don't have to be a lesbian to be an empowered woman. That just goes back to making lesbianism somehow about men, which the show had done a pretty good job of not doing up until now. And Roseanne pretended Jackie was straight in her book because she wanted Jackie to be straight? Doesn't that kind of fly in the face of your whole point with your mom? Also, since real Roseanne's real-life sister is gay, having fake real Roseanne say she wanted her sister to be straight seems like an odd choice. Blarg! On the subject of the ending of Roseanne, I don't much care for it at all. But on the whole, I had a great time revisiting this show. I honestly expected to find a lot more to mock and complain about, lots of stereotypes, bad taste jokes, but there was a wealth of positive things to say. I also found lots of fun gender stuff, which I'm hoping to come back to someday. Finally, I'm gonna get personal. I watched this show in syndication a lot growing up, and it was one of the first places I saw queer characters represented respectfully and positively. I can't overstate the importance of being exposed to that as a young queer boy just starting to figure out who I was. This show helped teach me that it could be okay to be gay, and for that I am sincerely grateful. I am also grateful that you watched this video. Thank you so much. If you liked this video, then please click that thing that says like, and if you didn't, then I'm sorry. Please subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more from me. You can also like/follow me on Facebook and or Twitter. If you have any thoughts or counterpoints, please share them in the comments. Let's please just keep it respectful and mature. I would also really appreciate any constructive feedback, as I'm still learning how to do all of this stuff. Much love!